Well, ladies and gentlemen, Elliot, right there in the back, with a big E on his chest.
So, this story is about tiny things. And I was thinking to myself, what things in my life are tiny right now? And the things that are tiny right now were actually very, very big earlier in my life. And the thing that I thought of was snail mail. Because snail mail is just boring. I go to the mail and I pick up my bills and I pick up a flyer and I just toss it in the garbage and that's it. But there's a time when mail was very, very important to me, and that was when I was in the military. And I was shipped off to Iraq. And mail is the most important, motivating thing that you can ever get. And in order to understand the most amazing piece of mail that I ever got from anyone, I have to tell you about a bunch of other mail that I got from one person. When I was in high school, I always wanted to be a writer. And I had dreams of telling sci-fi stories and horror stories. And I found this writer named Christopher Moore, who writes both comedic and sci-fi stories. And I was like, this is awesome. And I started talking with him. And I emailed him and I was like, you're amazing, I want to be a writer just like you. And he's like, that's great. You should, sign up for my message board and talk to the people there, because I talk to people on that message board. And I was like, oh cool. And I started talking to people on the message board. And he starts talking to me on the message board with everyone else. And it's just like, I have this friendship with my favorite author. And I get out of high school and I immediately go into the military because I was crap at high school. And I had no chance of getting into college straight out of high school. I go into the military and I'm still talking with them, and then I tell the message board that I'm going off to Iraq. And everyone starts emailing my mother, what's his mailing address, what is this? And Christopher Moore even emailed my mom. He was like, what are his favorite candies? What is his favorite TV shows and stuff like this? And I remember the day that I got the first package from him. I was working the night shift and I had just gotten off and was probably passed out for 2 hours before the mail came in, and they tossed it on my bed, and it was a giant white postage thing, and it had more written in the return address, and I was like, yes! And I opened up the thing, and it's it's an advanced reader's copy of his new book. And signed inside it says, "Write like a god, Christopher Moore." And I'm just running around the battlefield. I was like, yes! I in my underwear. Yes! And I would get even more I got more packages from him than I got from anyone. And the packages would come in, and the other guys that I worked with would say stuff like, oh, it's just another Moore package, Elliot's gonna go crazy. But he sent me macadamia nuts from Hawaii. He sent me TV shows, he sent me copies of Buffy and Angel because he knew I was a big fan. He even introduced me to other shows like Smallville and Gilmore Girls, and it's just yes. But and then I got home and I had it was really funny because before I got shipped off to Iraq, he hit it big with his book Lamb: The Gospel According to Biff Price's Childhood Pal. And I had my mom go and get the book signed, but the thing was before his signing, I was home on leave and she got a blood clot in her leg. And she's like, I can't stand for very long, I have to sit down. And so I emailed him and I was like, my mom's coming to get my book signed, but she can't stand for very long. Can you make sure that she has a place to sit? He's like, oh yeah, no problem. And so I go back to Germany and she's getting it signed, but she shows up late with my little brother. And she ends up standing in the back because it's standing room only by the time he gets there. And she waits in line standing the entire time to get to the front. And she hands him the book and she's like, this is for Elliot. And he points to my little brother and he's like, oh, is this Elliot? And she's like, no, Elliot from the board, the doofus. And he's like, oh, you're Elliot's mom. And he's like, I was expecting he starts doing like the little walker motion, you know, and the canes and everything. And she's like, no, I'm fine. And he's like, and then he like turns to someone else and he's like, hey, Ken, this is Elliot's mom. This is like, you know, the guy from the board. It's just like, wow. And so I had her get 2 copies, one that he signed and she kept at her home, and the other one that I took with me. And so when I came back, I had him sign the war-torn copy too. It's just like, but all of that mail that I got from him, and all of that correspondence that I got from him, didn't compare to this one piece of mail. And it was a package from my mom. And I wish I could tell you some sweet story about me slowly undoing the tape or slowly pulling out piece by piece, but when I get mail, I just tear into it like an excited 7-year-old on Christmas. And I pull out this letter. I open it up, and it's a drawing. And across the top there's a line, across the side there's a line, there's a little cross right there in the upper right-hand corner. Some crudely drawn pterodactyl, and it's a note from my brother, and it says, Elliot, do not die, Taylor. It's like, wow, I can't die now because my brother said so. So Christopher Moore may have made me a god, but my brother made me immortal.
Elliot. Your whole family is sweet. God, I wish we had a whole army of guys like you just sitting in their tents watching Gilmore Girls. We would be beloved around the world. It's just a whole, everyone just binge watching Netflix. No wars ever. And I nominate you for something. All right.